Hi, welcome to this quick tutorial overview on how to make ambisonics sounds within Blender and Premiere Pro CC for YouTube. Before we start, you will need a few things. The first will be a pair of headphones, as this is what we will preview the 360-degree effect of sound with. The next will be any version of Blender above 2.8. In this tutorial I will be using Blender 3.4. The last thing you will need is any version of Premiere Pro that is version 2017 or higher. If you do not have this software, you can sign up for a free trial using the link below and follow along for free. In the description of this video, you will find a link to a simple blend file I created for you to follow along, so before you go any further, download and open that file. If you want to create your own scene, feel free and just follow along to the steps shown in this video. Once you have the file open, you'll see a few things. The first is a human model to scale, which will help you determine the scale height, which is important for VR video. To always have the camera grounded so the average viewer does not get motion sickness. You'll also see 4 cubes, each one representing a direction that we will correspond to sounds. Front, left, back, right. Now to start, we will add a camera to the scene. So just press Shift and A, then add camera. Clear the rotation with Alt-R, and now move it with the G key up, and rotate it 90 degrees to match the front cube. After that we will open the camera properties and change the camera type from fisheye equisolid to equirectangular. The default settings are fine, and we don't need to change anything. Let's hide the character from our viewport and render now. To test the camera, drag a new window open from the top left. If done correctly and you use 0 on the number pad to look through the camera and render, it should look something like this. Now we can stop that render and continue on to adding sound to our scene. The basis of spatial sound in videos is adding sound into 3D space. To do that we can use a lesser-known feature in Blender called speakers. To add a speaker, just use Shift-A, add speaker. Now we can grab it and align it to the object that looks like a speaker used for reference. Now we will duplicate the speakers and align one for each of the 4 speaker objects. An easy way to do this is at the top to change the translation type from median point to 3D cursor. Now when the 3D cursor is at the center and we rotate it, the speakers will rotate in relation to the center point and not the speaker itself. So, we duplicate it 2 more times now and rotate. It's important to have good naming conventions always, so we will name all our speakers right according to direction. It's important to have good naming conventions always, so we will name all our speakers properly according to direction. Once they are all aligned, it is time to add the sound itself. So, on the right, if we open speaker properties, then just click the open button and select the sound you would like to play out of that speaker. Only one sound per speaker is supported at the moment. Now if we press play with spacebar, the sound should sound like it is coming from the left. We can actually edit when the sound starts as well. If we add a new window, click and drag in the top left corner. We can open the NLE editor. There you will find all of our speakers named and see a small box inside of it. The box represents the sound. It does not correspond to the length of the sound clip, however. So always keep in mind that when working with audio clip, the start of the box is the start of the clip, but the end of the box is not the end of the clip. To move it, you can just hit G and move it to whatever time you want it to start it. You can preview it by hitting space. Now we will do the same for the rest of the speakers. Add any sound clips you want. If you are looking for a good resource, Zapsplat.com has many free sound effects you can use. All it requires is attribution. Let's move the clips so that they all play in a sequence one after another. You can even duplicate clips by using Shift-D and dragging them where you want on the timeline. Duplicating clips does not create a new speaker, but instead creates another action for it inside the speaker's soundtrack in the NLA editor. Now we can preview it just like we did a few moments ago to check that the sound is coming from the right directions and is working as intended. Although it was not discussed in this tutorial, you can create advanced audio effects by keyframing and animating the position and rotation of speakers. Once you are happy with the audio, there are two things you have to do to get a spatial sound output. On the Properties panel on the right, go into the Output Properties and change the file format to FFmpeg video. Under the Video drop-down, select No Video. Under the Audio drop-down, select AAC, and select For Channel. This is the amount of channels that allows the use of spatial sound, as they map to north, east, south, and west. Which is why it is called For Channel. Now in the viewport hit F3 and type Mixdown. This command is hidden, but it allows you to render the project's audio. Hit Enter and in the export options choose Wave and F64, which will give you the highest audio quality. Make sure that the split channel checkbox is unchecked. Choose where you want to save it to and click Mixdown. Next we will render a frame to use for 360-degree video. When creating 360-degree video for YouTube, the resolution aspect ratio must be 2:1. The recommended resolutions are 7168 by 3584 or 8192 by 4096 pixels. We'll go with 7168 by 3584 for now. So, we'll change the format back to PNG. And in the resolution, set it to 7168 by 3584. When we are happy with this, just hit F12 to render. Once rendered, hit Image, Save As, and save as a PNG in the desired location. We are all done in Blender now. Time to open Premiere Pro 2023. Please ensure you wear your headphones while editing your ambisonics videos. If this is your first time using it, all you have to do is select Create a New Project and hit Create. It should open a blank project. Now in the bottom left panel, right-click and select Add New Sequence. From the drop-down menu, find VR and select Monoscopic Ambisonics 8192 by 4096. Next, from the File Explorer, drag our image and audio that we rendered. Drag our image from the bottom left panel to the right one. Our sequence resolution is slightly higher than the one of our image. So, we will right-click on our sequence settings and modify it to match the dimensions of our rendered image. Here you can also match your video frame rate to the one you used in Blender if you created an animation. There are 3 things that you need to do to preview and make sure the sound is working in Premiere Pro and will export to YouTube correctly. The first is by going to Edit, Preferences, Timeline, and ensuring multi-channel mono media is set to adaptive. Close that window, and double-click on our audio clip we just imported. You should see a new window appear that shows a waveform. Ensure there are 4 channels as seen here. Next, right-click on the clip, go to Modify, Audio Channels and ensure the settings are as shown here. Make sure the number of audio clips is set to 1, as any other number will split the clips up as you drag them in. This is important as YouTube only supports one channel of ambisonics audio at the moment. So if it's set at 1, you are good to go. Click and drag it onto the second slot on the audio side of the timeline. After all the technical work, here's where all the magic starts to happen. Under the video preview, click the plus icon and drag the icon that looks like a VR headset to where the other icons are. Now click it. You will see you have a full 360-degree preview and can pan around by clicking and dragging. You may notice though when you play the video with spacebar, the sound does not move with the video. We must click a few things to get it working. Click the wrench icon and click Monitor Ambisonics. Now it will sound a lot different, but still not correct. It sounds a bit quiet too, so let's turn the volume of that clip up. At the top right, click Audio Track Mixer. Since our audio is in the second channel, we will drag the volume slider that corresponds to it. Drag it up until it sounds good to you. If you see yellow in the audio bar while playing the video, that generally means the sounds are loud enough. While we are in this space, we will add the final effect so that we can preview the ambisonics sound properly. Click the top left, and in the master mixing channel on the top slot we will add an effect called binauralizer ambisonics. Now if you hit play and move the video around, we will see it works perfectly. Now remove that effect we just added, as it is for preview purposes only. We are now ready to export the video. Hit Ctrl+M on the keyboard, or go to File, Export, Media. In this overwhelming list of things, click on Presets, Custom, and search Ambisonics. After clicking, ensure that the video resolution is the same as we set, and that under audio it is set as 4 channel. Now hit Export. You are now done. Just upload the file to YouTube and it should work. Something important though is that specialty YouTube features such as HDR or ambisonics can take up to a day or 2 to appear in the video even if it is fully uploaded. Hopefully after the wait it will work and all that hard work you put in will have paid off. If it does not work after that, then here is a method to make sure it works. Download a tool called Spatial Media Injector. The link is in the description. It was created by Google. Unzip it and run it. Open your video. And check the 2 boxes labeled My Video is Spherical and My Video has Spatial Sound are checked. Then hit Inject Metadata and add .mp4 to the end of your file name. It should now be ready to upload to YouTube and work properly. Remember, it may take a while for it to show up. That's it. You now have a working 360 video with spatial sound created in Blender and Premiere Pro. I know this is a long and very technical tutorial, but if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope this helped and that you learned something new as well. If you use this tutorial to create any 360 videos with spatial sound, please link it down in the comments. I'd love to see them. Also, if you have any other tutorial suggestions, please let me know. Thank you.